everyone. I wonder if I just sit here for a whole hour, if they'll just stay muted and nobody will ever talk.
It's worth a shot.
All right, anybody got any intelligent questions for me? Or we're just going to stay on mute for 45 straight minutes.
Can you go over the last one on the worksheet?
The last one on the worksheet. This one?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Somebody explain it to me. What should I do? What do those words mean? So many words.
Wait, like read it to you?
No, I can read.
Oh.
I said explain.
Like the
Process.
long range airbound, like the how, like the equation, the formula.
Yeah.
That thing.
So you're telling me I use Lagrange error bound because it tells me what it asks what is the Lagrange error bound, yes?
Yeah.
Now note that the interval is 0, 2. Note that the interval is 0, 2. So what does that mean?
It's center.
There's one.
Center is 1. So when I'm dealing with a Lagrange error bound, hold on, I'm trying to toggle between a writing screen and that. When I'm dealing with Lagrange error bound, you know that I'm basically going Lagrange error bound of some degree is less than or equal to, and then I put my 3 things: the factorial, the derivative, and the power.
Right.
Question is, first of all, what when I do that, does it switch back? Like, can you see the problem right now, or can you just see my?
Only the board or the whatever that is.
All right, but you all can see the problem, right?
Yeah.
By the way, if any of you text with Jordan Resnick, tell him that I've been trying to admit him for the last 10 minutes, but it's not letting me. So I don't know what's up with his situation, but I'm not purposefully locking him out. Anybody here on text with Jordan Resnick?
Yeah, I got him.
You got him? All right. So on that problem, what is the degree?
Second.
2. Oh.
So it says the second degree Taylor polynomial, which means that this is a second order remainder, yes?
Yes.
Second order remainder, then what goes right here?
3 factorial. No? Okay, yeah.
Okay. And here, for the power function, would be a third power, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what would it be a third power of?
So
Third power of what? Hello? Is it just x to the third? What is it?
What is the third? What's about? It's the x location that gives you the biggest value.
Okay. Is it exactly the x location that gives you the biggest value, or is it the...
Or any location on the interval.
Any location on the interval that gives you the biggest value?
Yeah.
Okay. So what should I put?
So it should be e to the first. To just e.
E?
Yeah.
E.
E?
E.
E? 2?
2 divided by 2 is 1. So, yeah.
1? I'm confused.
Yes, I'm confused. I'm confused also, even though this should be very easy.
Is it 2?
Is it? Why 2?
Because that's the maximum?
Okay. So you're saying that 2 is the biggest thing in the interval?
Yes.
Okay. So you're telling me that because of that, I should stick a 2 right there?
no, not necessarily.
Okay, no. Help?
Yes, help.
It's e to the 2 over 2, which is just
What?
e. So not,
2 over 2?
No, would that
Because the
from?
f of x equals e to the
Wait,
x.
2 minus 1. Because, yeah, 1 is the center. Yeah.
Folks, it's x minus a to the power of n, yes?
Yeah.
Well, in this case, n plus 1 because we're dealing with a remainder. So that's third power, x minus a. So I put the biggest number on the interval, which is 0 to 2. But I have to put the minus 1 there. Because it's
Okay.
minus a, the formula, yes?
Yeah.
Whenever it is not centered at 0, I have to put the minus where... Or even when it is 0, I can put minus 0 there if I really want to.
So a is
You understand that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not just for error, that's even for a Taylor polynomial. If I have a Taylor polynomial that's centered at 1, then I'm going to put x minus 1 to the first, x minus 1 to the second, x minus 1 to the third. I'm going to use the x minus a everywhere. Everybody follow that?
a
True.
is where it's centered, right?
Say what?
A is where it's centered.
Yes, a is the center. And then I'm going to put whatever number makes this term the largest. So if 0 would have made this term the largest, then I would have put 0, but obviously 2 makes it larger than 0.
True.
Am I good?
Yeah.
Okay, now what else does this need?
The third polynomial.
This is the
Constant.
third. The third what?
Derivative. No? I'm scared.
I'm scared too, because y'all are taking a quiz on this tomorrow.
Rachel, I think you were right.
True.
Third derivative?
Yes, self-confidence.
That's not
Every one of these things, the Taylor polynomials, Taylor series, and the stuff that we deal with error, derivative, power, factorial, all of them. So right here has to go the maximum value of the
Third derivative.
third derivative, yes. Not just the derivative, because the problem says e to the x over 2. But if I'm going third power and third factorial, then I need the third derivative. So the question is, what's the third derivative?
1/8 e to the power of x over 2.
Okay,
Really?
so I don't know, is that right, class?
Yeah.
I don't know how to take derivatives, that was so long ago.
September.
Should I put x right there over that 2?
No, it's 2.
1. No, I'm okay. 1.
No.
What on the interval is going to make that term the largest?
2.
2.
Last time I checked, e to the 2 halves is bigger than e to the 1 half and is bigger than e to the 0 half.
True.
They're ugly. I know. Why are they ugly?
My goodness. Do we all see why this is what I need to write?
Yeah.
And I would assume that if I do the math on this, e over 8 times 1 over 3 factorial, which is 6, is going to be those multiple choices.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I'm sure your trusty calculators can handle finding that, can't it?
Plug and chug.
Probably can.
I don't know about that.
Wait, what's happening?
Plug and chug, that's it.
Who is Aisha Ruhi and why are they trying to get into this room?
Mr. Crow.
Yes.
When we respond these AP questions, do you want us to just write the letter down for the answer, or do you also want us to like show the word for the review assignment?
What do you think?
Yeah, as soon as I said that out loud, I realized.
All right. Anybody else?
Can we go over 34 in the book?
What page is that?
501.
Okay. Use the Taylor polynomial of order 3 to find the cubic approximation of that thing at x equals 0. Give an upper bound for the magnitude of the approximation error for x equals 0.1. So, first thing, did you find the third order Taylor polynomial?
I believe so, yeah. 1 minus x plus x squared minus x cubed.
So what'd you say?
1 minus x plus x squared minus x cubed.
Okay. So, I need to find out an upper bound for the magnitude of the approximation error. So that's pretty much the same thing. That's pretty much Lagrange error bound also.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Kraft, isn't the Taylor polynomial 1 plus x squared plus x cubed?
I don't know. I just wrote what he said.
It would be. Because it's
What are we doing?
number 34 in the book on page 501.
It's 1 plus x squared plus x cubed.
All pluses?
Really?
It would be if you take
The ratio is x and the first term is 1, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because it's mine. Oh, yeah. It is.
negative x times it could be root of negative x times the derivative of negative 1 that's the power. I'm making it too complicated, I'm going to shut it.
Alright, so yeah, I just basically do Lagrange error bound too.
Okay.
For magnitude of approximation error for absolute value of x is less than or equal to 0.1 basically means from negative 0.1 to 0.1, right?
Okay, yeah.
So then I'm going fourth power, and it's centered at 0. So I'm going fourth power, fourth derivative, and fourth factorial.
Yeah.
And plugging it in. We understand that, folks?
Yes.
Yes. Wait. For the AP, like the AP one, like going back to it, when you use 2 minus 1 and like you plug everything in, none of the answers are on the multiple choice.
What you talking about?
The AP, the one that we did with this one before that one, this one, I mean, the question before this one.
Yeah.
Number 15 on the AP review problems. When we did the 2 minus 1 to the power of 3, and like we did all that, and we put it on our calculator, none of the multiple choices like matched up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think could there be a typo in that it's supposed to be A, but they forgot to put a 0 between the 2 and the 8? So the answer should be 0.0208. And the only one that we have is 0.028. 0.028, which is wrong.
Interesting.
What is this? All right. What did we get? E to the 2 over 2 divided by 8.
No, E over 8.
Yeah, so
Over
E
three
over
factorial.
8
So E over 8 is.
divided by 3 factorial.
Yeah.
E over 8 divided by 3 factorial. Should be like around a half, shouldn't it?
Yeah. 0.055.
What do be going on?
It's not an option either. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
Oh, it says about x equals 0.
yeah.
Hello.
So we would just use 2 instead of subtracting it from 1, right?
Yeah, I would just use 2. So e to the, it's still e over 8 times 2 to the third divided by 6 factorial.
3 factorial?
3 factorial, which is 6. So it'd be e over 6, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
0.453.
Which would be c, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, thanks.
That's weird that they would give you a 0 to 2 interval for, but it does say about x equals 0 there. Be ridiculous. All right, what else?
12 on page 500.
Who is this Aisha Ruhi that's trying to get into this chat? That's trying to get into this Zoom. Does anybody know who that is?
No.
Well, then I'm not letting her in. Number 12 on the book.
Yep.
Find a Taylor polynomial for cosine x such that that thing is less than 0.3. So that's an adequate representation problem. Do we remember this?
Yeah, you just have to construct Taylor polynomials until you find whatever is less than that.
Yeah. But this one's not as good because you know how cosine of pi and cosine of negative pi wouldn't be 0? On the example that I gave you in class, or not in class, but on those notes, it was like the difference between the polynomial and sine of x, but sine of x was 0. Not sine, well, sine of x when I put in pi was 0. Cosine when I put in pi is not 0.
1.
Is,
-1.
well, it's absolute value, so either way,
Right.
1
Yeah.
or -1.
And so it would be, the answer would be 0, which is not. So it would just be that.
So when you start putting in the when you start doing these things, because it says polynomial for cosine of x. So everybody knows the Maclaurin series for cosine of x, don't they?
Yes.
It is.
Sure.
1 plus
1 minus
1 minus. No.
x squared over 2 factorial plus x to the power 4 over 4 factorial. And then, did I say that like the general term or like keep going?
Well, I'm not really worried about the general term right now. But
Okay.
the bottom line is this is what we're doing, right?
Right.
So on all of these, remember how when we started the first order, which was 1, right? In this case, it would be 1.
This one wants 0 order.
Yeah, it's a 0.
Okay, so if I start with 0 and first order are both 1 in this case.
Yeah.
Okay? But because cosine of pi or negative pi absolute value is 1, this whole thing is the Maclaurin series for cosine, right?
Right.
But you remember the whole idea is that we're doing polynomial minus cosine has to be less than, in this case it's 3 zeros and a 1?
2 zeros.
2 zeros and a 1. Okay, but this is 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
At its biggest?
Yep.
My point is, when I do whatever I'm going to do with this thing right here, I got to subtract 1 from it.
1 minus 1 is 0.
Okay? That makes sense, folks?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing that, then my first one that I'm dealing with is going to be 1 minus 1.
Plus 0, 0, 0. So we're just put that here.
Wait. Isn't cosine of pi -1?
Yes, it's all an absolute value.
So wouldn't it be 1 plus 1 for the first one?
What's cosine of negative pi? Is also 1, right?
Yes, you are correct.
So then I'm going 1 plus 1, which is bigger, right?
Yeah.
And then for the next one, second order, because that's 0 and first order, right?
Yeah.
There's no way for me to freaking scroll this page down, is there? Let's see if I can be a master of this, much like I'm a master of the Promethean board. Nope, failed. Alright, I'm clearing it. So the beginning, the 0 and the first order is 1 plus 1. That's not the right range. But then it's going to be 1 plus pi squared over 2 factorial plus, oh, I'm sorry, this is a minus. Minus pi squared over 2 factorial plus 1.
Okay, why is the first one 1 minus 1?
It's 1 plus 1.
Okay.
Cosine of pi and cosine of negative pi are both -1.
Yeah, but isn't the whole thing, it's Pn of x minus cosine of x?
Right, so Pn of x, P sub n of x minus -1 is like saying plus 1. Everybody with that?
Yeah.
Then I would have to do that, and see what that was, and then I would have to put the minus pi over 6 factorial, or pi to the 6 over 6 factorial, and so on, until I got it. That make sense?
Yep.
I think it should be like the 12th order should get it.
Yeah, it's the 12th.
Everybody follow that? All right, what else?
Mr. Kraft,
Yes.
can you let Nafia in?
Who's Nafi? I mean, I don't see it trying to get in. I see Aisha Ruhi. Is that who is trying to get in for Nafia?
I don't know. She asked me to ask you if you could let her in.
Well, her name is not trying to get in. There's one person waiting called Aisha Ruhi, and I've asked like 5 times, does anybody know who that is? So ask her if that's who she is masquerading as.
Okay.
All right, what else you got? Anything? No? Hello?
Mr. Kraft, I miss your class.
Oh. Why? Because of all the silence like you're getting right here?
Exactly.
30 people on mute?
That's not true. It's like 20 on me.
No, it's...
Nope, you're right. I can't count. I'm having a bad night.
That almost makes it feel like we're actually in class. It's all quiet.
Yeah,
I just need the common sense poster.
it's just like second period, yeah.
Hey, fourth period pretty silent too. Actually, no, we're not.
No.
Fourth period's not silent if I start making fun of people.
It's because Grace isn't here.
That's a passion.
Speaking of which, I think I'm about to call Grayson out. I have this thing on my MVS page where I can see who has logged in and who hasn't.
Yeah.
And I don't think my kid's logged in yet. Is he like on this planet still?
Honestly, I don't know.
Yes, he is the only student in our classes who has yet to log in to my MCPS. So, to speak to him, you better let him know that he's getting a quiz tomorrow on the platform that he hasn't logged into.
Is it true that our grades can't go down?
What's that?
Is it true that our grades can't go down?
What do you mean? Is it true that your grades can't go down?
That's true.
Because my AP Chem teacher said that we can't, our grades can only go up for the rest of the quarter. That's what the AP chemistry teaches.
Yeah. Mr. Kraft, how about that?
This is a fantasy world that some of you guys live in.
Cap.
Maybe it's just our class. I just misunderstood.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I think my sociology teacher said the same thing.
What the hell? What is going on with this society? Cause what?
Unprecedented pandemic. Mr. Kraft. What's going on with society?
Pandemic, yeah. Damn right we have a pandemic. It's taken us 3 weeks to do something that we would have done in 3 days if we were actually in the class.
Is school still going to end in June?
That's a good question.
That is a
Also-
good question.
Like, if seniors are going to leave early like we normally do. Plus, APs were pushed back a week, so.
Yeah, APs are pushed back a week. I don't know what's going to happen next. I wouldn't be surprised if they cut school completely. I think they're looking for, in my opinion, they're looking for a way to do that and still have people quote unquote legitimately graduate.
I heard Michigan did that. He gave up on school entirely for the rest of the.
Virginia did. Virginia's done.
Well, no, they're still.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
I think they're still involved with the legislature. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they just have to figure out about graduation. I have a feeling once these third quarter grades come in, they're gonna come up with some kind of a plan to say, all right, seniors that failed third quarter, do this, and you can graduate. And once they figure out what that plan is, they'll knock it out. But I don't know, maybe we'll be back. Who knows? All I know is I'm gonna start posting
Multivariable.
Monday for your AP exam review. So whether you're going to graduate or not, you should be looking at that stuff all the time.
Well, what do you mean graduating? This is another repeat senior year.
Whatever.
I'm not saying.
Your focus should be on getting a good grade on the AP exam.
I have to take a third year of calc 1. I would be so mad because I don't know if MD accepts a 3 on the AP test. So.
Who cares? If you take it again, you wind up getting an A in it. So
Hey,
there's a lot worse things that can happen than that. Believe me.
Hold on. Did I get an A this year? Nuh-uh. I was a solid B student.
All right. Well, hopefully, if you've taken A, B, and BC, and if you take Calc 1 again, you should get an A, because that would be the third time around.
AB? Then A, B, B, C. Calc 1.
Moving on to CG.
I don't know how an open book AP test is gonna work. Like, how do you prepare for that?
Well, you prepare for it the same way you would prepare for it for the one that you would get anyway, which is just by learning the full gamut of material, because they're going to give you some. I guarantee you the free response question is going to be one of the hardest questions you've ever seen, because they're only one, I heard.
Yeah, it's a PS, just make the AP question.
So they're just going to give you a mishmash of multiple choice stuff that you've seen in the format that was, those AP questions were that I gave you. Those 3 AP questions were that I gave you here, except it's going to be like a lot of them. And that's that. Yeah. I mean, the only way you prepare for a cumulative test is to know everything.
Yeah.
Sounds overly simplistic, but that's what it is. So we're going to review everything that's going to be on it so that you guys can know/remember everything. And then, you do the best you can when you see it. I just don't like the fact that it's going to be so short, because the sample size is going to be such that you're rolling the dice as to which topics that you really know that are going to be on there.
Honestly, just for a little bit of everything.
Well, they can't put everything on it on a 45-minute test. That's impossible. That's the point. On a 3.5-hour test, they can get a little bit of everything on it.
I mean, it's only 2 questions.
Yeah, they're
The
gonna.
first question is just AB, and the second question is just BC.
Is that what they said? 2 questions.
No. Well, what is the question?
That's what I think.
I heard there's going to be 2 sections that they're going to give you one hard free response problem for like the last 10 minutes of it, and then the rest of them are like, multiple choices. But I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to try to prepare you for everything that's going to be on it, and whatever they give you, hopefully it will be a topic that you've seen and know something about.
Sounds good.
All right, so everybody knows what's happening moving forward.
Yeah.
3 o'clock tomorrow, I post this little thing. You get it back to me at 4.
Yeah.
Folks, you should have no problem finishing this in less than an hour. And I'm telling you, I gave a pre-cal quiz like this today. Out of 53 students, you know how many people got it back to me in an hour?
1.
20.
4.
Oh,
Yikes. Well, you have on.
I think I'm up to 30 now. A bunch of people turned it in like the half hour after it was supposed to be due, but I expect better from you guys, and the quiz is pretty damn short. So you should be
is that
able.
like a Mr. Kraft? Is that like a 10% off or?
It's whatever I decide.
Sounds good.
So, and before I get 15 emails from the same person saying I can't submit it, I don't want you to try to post it or anything like that. I want you to scan it or take a picture of it and attach it to an email and send it to my regular email address. Like I've told you several times already in the emails that I've sent.
Is it the mcsmd.net or .org? Is it .org is kind of long.
Say what?
I think the .org works, but
Yeah, my email address is the one that I posted, which is David_M_Craft at mcpsmd.org.
Like I remember one time I tried sending an email and it blocked it, even though it was sent to that account.
We have to send it for your school email too. Is that?
What?
Isn't that a thing? You have to send emails through your school email.
That is my school email.
Okay, yeah. Remember that.
Like,
Send emails to the email account that I've posted 100 times on every single thing that I've posted ever to you.
Mr. Kraft,
Yes.
I just checked the College Board website and it said that it's 2 free response questions, no multiple choice. The AP test.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, that'll be nice and easy then. I think they're worried about people just texting each other what the answer is. And that's why they're doing that.
yeah.
Make it so hard even your friends can't help you.
That's right. At least not in that amount of time. But, I mean, there's a chance that colleges are going to look at it, right, and be like, that wasn't a real test, so even if you got a 5, they're not giving you credit for it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's a big concern.
You get like 2 plus.
Especially bragging rights.
So, I don't know. Can't do anything about it. Just play the hand you're dealt.
You know what we're going to do with the book return?
Say what?
Oh, good point.
What are we going to do with the books?
Yeah, our textbook.
I think that if they decide to shut school down, it'll be one of those things where I send them a list, and you know how, well, I don't know, when I went to school to get all my stuff that was there was a table out front and somebody with a mask behind the table, and they were handing out packets of all these courses, these MCPS courses. I have a feeling that's how the book return is going to be too. Where you're going to go up and you're going to just drop it off at a table and they'll have a list and they'll check you off. And I wouldn't be surprised if they only do the book returns for seniors, because the rest of you can theoretically return it next year or whatever.
Do you think they'll let us like get our stuff? Because I'm sure there's plenty of people that left stuff in their lockers, and I know a bunch of drama kids left stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a ton of stuff still in school. Because
It's Mountain Dew.
when I went to get my stuff, I had 45 minutes. They're like, you got to be out of here in 45 minutes. And I just picked up the things that I thought I would need to teach, but I didn't. I mean, I have all kinds of other things in that room that I don't particularly need to leave there all summer. But I don't know. I would assume that this thing is going to end. You know, the quarantine part of this is when it does end, they'll give you some access. 'Cause I would like to think that this isn't going to take all summer, but who knows? They gotta put you in it sometime. I mean, they can't keep your stuff or destroy it.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions on this, folks? No? We're all good? So tomorrow I post this, you send it back to me by 4, and then starting on Monday, I'll grade it from, the rest of this week, and then starting it on Monday, we'll start doing these AP review sections that I have, and hints and tidbits and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where you should be checking it out every day or every couple of days at least. I'm going to be posting new stuff, and we'll set up some more Zooms to go over some problems.
Okay.
Get it?
Yep.
Get it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks. It's been a pleasure.
Cool.
Don't forget to log on at 3 tomorrow.
Yep.
All right. See you guys later. Talk to you guys later. Whatever.
As soon as
TCYS.
All right. Bye.
Bye.